Welcome back. We are on episode 12. Over to my gran.
Hello, everybody. We're back again to have some fun. We'll start off being in town. We'll start off with the two younger ones. Their little school here in Park Green was actually the teachers that were there were very sort of musical, and they put on a production at the end of the year. Um, of it was Robin Hood and the E or the Donkey, and anyway, the my youngest daughter, they were given, the younger ones were given a job of, it's a song, we flow down the river, and they sat in a boat and they had a partner. She came back very disgusted. I said, "What's wrong?" "No, I don't want to be with that boy. I don't like him. He's too fat." And that was her reply. But anyway, she had to. She was chosen to partake with him, so she did. And then my son, the younger son, him and that chap that they were first fighting when he first moved down here, they were E or the donkey. They were in a donkey. It was a whole costume. The one was the front of the donkey and the other one was the back. So you can imagine the hijinks that went on there. But for a small school, it was actually amazing what they did put on. But of course, the other two were at Scottborough. But they were also into mischief. Not so much my daughter, but my son. They were clever, and there was one teacher that was very nervy. And these boys used to play jokes on him. And the one day he was coming into the classroom, and my son said that he was going to give him a fright. So he jumped out on the teacher's back. And oh my goodness me, it wasn't the nervy teacher, it was the vice principal. So he was in big trouble. So we used to hear all these the antics when they came back home. We used to hear all about what used to go on. And in those days they had a bus running from um, Park Greeny to Scottborough for the school children. Everything was done so well that we knew that the kids just had to go to the bus stop. But of course, my boys, they both had bikes, and the eldest one, he never ever got on the bus. And he was actually very fortunate because one of his teachers, it was the I think it was a science teacher. Anyway, he had a motorbike, and my son, knowing all about bikes, because they were made when we first moved down here. We had to find. My husband had to find. He was a farmer, but he had to find something to do because we had four children to educate, and he started repairing cars in our backyard and lawnmowers and stuff like that. And when the eldest boy came back from school, before he was allowed to go and surf with all his mates, he had to come and check with his dad that it was okay. And of course, his father taught him a lot about mechanics. So he used to repair his own bike, and well, he used to get away with murder because he used to look after his teacher's motorbike. He used to service the motorbike. If anything went wrong, they'd call him in, and he got off with a lot of uh, a lot of favors. But as I said, we just said to him, he was fortunate that he knew what he was doing. They were made. They were, as I said before, farm children had more responsibility than the children in town seemed to be more spoilt. They did just as they wanted to. But we brought our children up to realize that there is a thing to as responsibility, and this is what. Well, they were full of tricks. They weren't always responsible. Let me tell you that. One day we were sitting having breakfast, and the police van rode up our driveway. My husband said, "We can't even get any peace on a Saturday." From lawnmowers and that. The police van stopped, and out got my youngest son. The police had caught him riding on the railway line, no license, no helmet, and riding on a motorbike. So this is what we had to put up with when we first moved down here. But time moved on, and the children all grew up and uh, matriculated, and it was a different life, an absolute different life to what they were used to, but they adjusted very well, and the whole family did. My home was a place for everybody. They all had friends, and the friends used to come and sleep for the evening, and we used to have such fun because one night my youngest daughter, she had her friend sleeping in the room, and my youngest son had his friend sleeping in the room. So I had two extra kids that particular evening, And at about 12 o'clock, I woke up with a racket going on, and I said, "What on earth is happening?" These kids were running in and out, the girls were running in and out, and in and out, in and out, and they had eventually kicked the boys out of the one bed, and they'd both got in. The boys had put some insect into their beds so that the girls wouldn't get into the beds, and when it came to get back to bed, they wouldn't. They kicked they kicked one of the boys out of their beds, and the two girls jumped in the one bed and made the boys get in the other. But we were experiencing all kinds of things like this, so it was a different lifestyle. And I think I've chewed your ear off enough for tonight, but I've got lots more that I can think about and share with you. So it's been very nice going. It's good to go back. They say you shouldn't go into the past, but when you sit and, because I'm not working anymore, I'm retired now, but my brain is still very active, so there are all kinds of things I have to do, and I sit and think about all these. So when Nicole asked me if I would like to do this, I said, oh, it's a very good idea. So this is why we are sharing a little bit of time together. So until our next, what will I call it, escapade, I'll say have a good evening, and from Nicole and I'll say good evening.